Hi again guys, it's Kaya C's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a colorization tutorial in Zbrush. So we're going to go through that and I will see you on the next screen. Okay, hi guys. So this is the colorization tutorial for Zbrush. As you can see, we're going to be starting on the model that I was working on last time. The texture that it will immediately apply to your model, whether you've used it before or not, will always be the matte cap red basic texture. And this will automatically make your model look dark with no matter what sort of paint you put on it. So the first thing I do is change it straight to a basic material, which looks a lot like a Lambert in Maya. And it also brings out the colour best. Okay, so this is how it looks like at the moment. As you can see, I've already painted it, but that's not so much of a problem because I can still redo this and show you from scratch how to do it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is turn on colorization, which is, if you go down to Polypaint, Colorize is down here. So this will be turned off, and you want to make sure you turn that on. The gradient doesn't matter so much, it just smooths out your colours more. So you can choose to have that on, it really doesn't matter whether you want it on or not. Another thing you want to make sure is that your add or subtract for your modelling is not on at all. So you just want to click on that, turn it off, and that will no longer be a problem. If you leave it on, what will happen is while you're painting, it will also model for you. So that's kind of creepy, but yeah, you get the idea. So you want to turn that off and make sure that it's not on in the slightest. You also want to turn on RGB, the RGB channel, because this is your painting channel. This will recognize that you are painting color instead of texture. You can change the intensity, but 100 is the usual. You also want to make sure that you're on the right tool. The standard one is the one that most people will use. You will have different strokes that you can use. The dots gives you a block color. You'll also have freehand, color spray, normal spray, drag dot. These will give you different textures, and they can be useful to work with. It depends what kind of texture you're looking for on your model. And down here are your colours, so this is where you'll choose your basic colours and stuff like that. Now what I want to do first of all, these do have UV maps and they already have a texture map on them. So when I turn that on, it will immediately recognise that. The reason it goes blurry when I turn it off is because the colour that you paint on here automatically sticks to the vertices in between each polygon. So when you have it on a lower polygon setting, it'll limit the colour that you've got on there because it will fade it out and make it look all fuzzy because the detail isn't as high. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, if you already have a texture map and you want to redo painting, you want to repaint the model, you want to turn your texture off so it will recognise, because for example, if you paint while it's on, it won't recognise your painting. But if you do it while it's off, you will be able to create new colour, like this. If you have UV maps beforehand, that's not a problem. If you want to wait until after you've coloured to UV map, that's not a problem either. For the time being, I'll just delete UV map so we can do this from scratch and I can show you how that works as well. So what you want to do is just put all the colour on your model, like that. We can try with some different strokes. For example, this is a bluey-green sort of cloud effect, which is nice. You've also got spray, which is a sort of bigger version of that. And then you've also got your drag dot, which will drag one massive dot of colour around your model. It's actually a pretty nice colour. I don't know, I might repaint it at some point, we'll see. But just for just for introduction's sake. We'll stick to dots. Just make sure that that's got one colour on it. And once you've got all of your colour, what you'll want to do is go straight to your UV map. You want to go down to Create, down here, and then you want to choose Packed UV Tiles, like so, and that will immediately create it for you. You can adjust it down here if you like, flip it, apply more space to it, all that sort of stuff. And then you want to go down to Texture Map just below it. Let's just pull that up a bit. Now to create a new texture map, all you need to do is go to New from Polypaint, and that will immediately take all of the colours assigned to each polygon on here. One thing you want to remember, as I was saying earlier, is that when you actually paint on it, it's on the highest subdivision level, because that will retain more of the details, so even when you apply the texture map to the lowest detail, it will still keep all of that colour detail in there. So just remember that. Okay, let's go back down to texture map. So this has now created your texture map, and you can no longer paint on this until you turn it off. Okay. Now, in order to export your texture map, you actually don't need to do very much. It's different from doing a displacement or a normal map, in that when you export a tool, it will immediately export the file with it, the texture file with it. So if I go to export, it will show me all of these options, and you will get 3 files from it. You will get the MTL file, the OBJ file, and the BMP file. Okay, so that's the OBJ, that's your MTL, and that's your BMP. The BMP file is your texture map, and Maya, if you're trying to put it into Maya, it won't recognize, or it will recognize, but it won't really work as a BMP file. So what you want to do is put it straight into Photoshop. It can go into any version, and you just want to save that as a JPEG. So you can see the JPEGs up here that I've done before. And then you can just import that as a file on top of a Lambert in Maya, and that will immediately apply it, as you see it in here, to your object. Okay? And that's it for basic colouring. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will probably be doing another tutorial soon on how to do displacement and normal maps, etc., and how to export those, because that technique is slightly different, as the tool doesn't really export all of those as one thing. You have to export those maps separately and mess with those a bit. So thank you for watching, and hopefully you will be here for that tutorial. Thank you.